Hi, I'm Miss Fung. Today we're going to look at solving simultaneous equations. In particular, we're going to use substitution. Simultaneous equations. They are equations that happen at the same time. For example, here we have the line 2x minus y equals 0, and we can sketch another graph on top of that, x minus 2y equals minus 3. The point where they touch over there is called the intersection. And often when we're asked to solve for simultaneous equations, we're looking for that intersection. So that is our solution, and we give our answer in coordinate form, such as 1, 2. Sometimes when we have two equations or simultaneous equations, they might have a solution where they intersect, but sometimes they might never intersect. In the case where there are parallel lines, in that case there are no intersections, there are no solutions. Another scenario we can have with two lines is when they're overlapping. In that case we have infinitely many solutions because they're always touching. So just a quick recap. So we might have two solutions when there's two lines that meet at one point, and if they're parallel we will have no solution, and if they're on top of each other that means they're the same line. Let's have a look at how we would solve this algebraically. We have two methods that we have to cover. In this video we'll look at substitution, and in the next video we'll look at elimination. Example 1. Let's try to solve these algebraically. First of all, let's label the equation so we know which line we're talking about. So that first equation we're going to label as equation 1, so we put it in brackets. So whenever we say 1, we're referring to that equation over there. And then we're going to label that as equation 2. Now substitution means to swap. Now there's nothing equivalent to swap, so what we're going to do first is to rearrange. So let's rearrange our first equation. So 2x minus y equals 0. If I bring the minus y to the other side, I'm going to get positive y. And because I'm using the first equation and I've modified it, I'm going to call it 1 dash. So it's the first line modified. So 2x equals y, or in other words, y equals 2x. Now that I know what y is equal to, I can use the second equation, and instead of having y there, I can substitute it for the equivalent to x. So let's do some substitution. So I'm going to put this into that second line over there. So sub it into equation 2. And we have x minus 2x equals negative 3. Notice that I'm using this symbol to represent I'm using equation 2. So multiply that through. X minus 4x equals minus 3. And then x minus 4x, that is minus 3x. And dividing both sides by minus 3, we get x equals 1. Have we found our solution? Not yet. We found our x value. So how do we find the y value? Just sub it in. Now we can sub it in any equation we want. Probably this equation here is the easiest. So we're going to use that one. So y equals 2 times 1, which is 2. So now we have x is 1, y is 2, just like what we expected. So this is how you use substitution. Rearrange one of the equations so that you have a prenumeral by itself, in this case y, and then substitute that prenumeral into the other equation we didn't use. And once you solve and simplify, you'll get one of the prenumerals, and to find the other prenumerals, just substitute it back into the equation. You always should check your answers. So to do that, you would take y equals 2 and x equals 1 and plug it into one of the equations. Let's try that. X equals 1. So 2 times 1 is 2 minus y is 2 is 0. So that works. Example 2. Here we have two other equations, and I've labeled them again as equation 1 and equation 2 so that we can refer to them. So what do we do first? We move everything to one side and get a prenumeral by itself. It doesn't matter which one we rearrange. Let's do equation 2 this time. And remember, when we refer to equation 2 and we've modified it, we put that little dash over there. So I can see x is by itself and the y has a 2. So I'm going to make x by itself, and by moving the 2y to the other side. Plus 2y becomes minus 2y. So now we have x by itself. Then what do? We substitute. Wherever we see x into this equation, we will put the -3 minus 2y instead, just like that. Now we expand and simplify. 2 times -3 is -6. 2 times -2y is -4y, and minus another y outside is -5y, and equals 4. Now what do? We bring the 6 to the other side, becomes +6. So we have -5y equals 10. 4 plus 6 is 10. Dividing by -5 on both sides, we get y equals -2. Have we solved it? Not quite. We need the x value. To find the x, all we have to do is sub the y equals -2 into any of the equations. We're going to sub it in this one because x is by itself and it's nice and neat. So let's do that. Put the -2 where the y is. Write the equation out. So now we have, well, -2 times -2 is +4. So 4 minus 3 is 1. So now we have the x, we have the y, and how do we check? By subbing back into any of the equations. So you can do that. Let's say we sub it in the first equation. So 2 times x, so 2 times 1 is 2, minus y, which is -2. So 2 minus -2 is 4, which is correct. Here are 3 more examples. Pause the video and give it a go yourself, and unpause to see the answers. That's it from me today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!